Alright. So, we're finally back. Did a bit of grinding, as you see. I think I'm ready to tackle some of these endgame stuff. By the way, the audio for this episode kind of got messed up a bit, so I have to record it after. It's not a big deal. So right now I'm just looking for Death Gaze. I found him on the map, and then I parked my airship, and he moved. So I just had to go out and look for him again. It can be a bit of a chore, but he's usually not in the middle of the ocean. I don't know if he can spawn there, but I typically find him in some unused patch of ground or right on the coast. Sometimes he'll just be floating off the coast of something. I guess I could have cut out this part, but you know, maybe it'll help somebody find him. This is the foolproof strategy, where you just kind of angle yourself slightly and then just hold down and accelerate. Eventually you find him. And if you're doing it this way, he'll always be somewhere on your, I guess from this angle, it'd be somewhere on your left, somewhere on your right. Depends on the angle. Oh, there he is. I wonder if you can park and walk up and just touch it. Maybe that's why he disappeared, because I was on the ground. So unlike last time, nobody is a multiple of 5. Nobody's level, so nobody got doomed or deathed. It's not a super hard fight, but it is if you're under-leveled. I know that he just like runs away a lot, and so if you can't do enough damage, you miss him, you miss out on it. But in the original game, you were able to turn him invisible. You cast Vanish, and then use either Death or X Zone or Break, and all of those spells would automatically hit a target that's invisible. They fixed it. I think I've mentioned this before, but that was the foolproof insta-kill strat. There's like a reason to value Phantom. Piece of Magicite fell. It's Bahamut. Can learn Meteor, I believe. To either Meteor or Flare. Okay, so now I'm going to be heading off to the Cultist Tower, where you can only use magic and items. I think the only 2 things. There's probably some bonus abilities like Runic or something that work, but I don't know why I didn't bring Setzer. Setzer was fully trained to do magic stuff. He probably has more spells too. But the thing about having max magic stat is that you don't really need the best magic to do max damage. It saves you a lot on MP if you can cast like Thundara and still get 9999. Depending on their weaknesses, I guess, or resistances. But other than getting Air Anchor, the other reason to go to the tower is to get W magic, so you can cast 2 magic spells in 1 turn. Also, yeah, seems like a better group. I still would have taken Setzer over Strago. But yeah, Go-Go gets all the magic from everyone in the group, so... I contemplated Steel. I thought Steel might be good, or Runic, but I think I went with Lore in the end. Lore's not great. Lore's enemy, it's blue magic. It's enemy skill materia. So it's better the more you learn, but then also a lot of the spells cost too much. They don't do enough. Like Stone is a single target spell that does minor earth damage and has a chance to petrify. And it costs 20, I think, 20 MP. Meanwhile, like a Thundaga is like 8 or something, 5 MP. And you can cast it AoE, so I guess the main difference is that Lore, you don't do less damage based on how many targets there are. And it's, you have a lot of utility with Lore. Things that do, spells that do more than one thing. I know that some of Gao's abilities do that, where like, it says it does lightning, but it also blinds him and makes him float. Or, you know, it's like a snowstorm, but it converts all healing into damage. So regen actually hurts you, things like that. It's not always negative, though. Yeah, Bahamut's Flare. That's a good one. Flare is basically the single target version of Meteor. Yeah, Magic Tower is kind of a fun place. As I said, you can't use fight commands. You can't use physical commands like Blitz or Tools. I think I decided to keep encounters off. It's just, this is one of those places where you can come back anytime if you want to fight the enemies and fill up your bestiary. So in that room, there's actually a switch next to the chest on the right side. That's how you open up the door for Air Anchor. I didn't do it in this video. I accidentally forgot. I knew that there was a missing chest, and I just kind of decided to do it later. And then I did. Eventually I got it, but... I should have known. One of the main upsides to coming here was finishing that Tools achievement. And there's a dragon here. There's W Magic, Air Anchor, all the bestiary stuff, whatever that is. Little knife. I don't end up doing the Colosseum stuff in this series, but I might add it as a bonus thing at the end. But other than that, I do pretty much everything. I was just waiting to see if he was going to cast it on everyone. It's the luxury of having the game on wait instead of active, is you can sit in these menus and let everybody finish casting all their stuff and then decide what to do. Wow, that was quick. Getting to level 99 does kind of cheapen the experience a bit. It's something I just have always had to do when I play Final Fantasy games. I love to get to the end, and then before I do the end, and before I fight the last boss and go to the last dungeon, I like to just get to level 99, see what happens. In this game, there is a few unique things that happen. Terra learns Ultima at level 99. She also learns a variety of other spells just for free without espers. Also, I made a mistake. Early game, I got +2 magic and +2 strength from espers, and I always just assumed that there'd be +3 or more one day in the future. And so I waited, and I didn't really need to wait. I could have maxed out the characters early, and for their stats, the max you can get is like 180 or something. And so I wasted a lot of potential stats. But the only thing I could have done was just kind of spread out the magic and physical damage, because everyone basically gets full health or max health, max MP. So the only things you can really gain from the espers is strength, magic, and speed. Speed is really good, but not entirely necessary. Some people are just faster than others. Ooh, Lord Kefka's treasure. I stole the W magic, soul of Thamasa. In the original game, it was called something else. And then when Final Fantasy Exvius came out, they added FF6 characters, and Soul of Thamasa was one of the items you could get. It was a pretty ultimate item, and I didn't know where it was from. I couldn't figure out. I never heard of it. So this is a tricky fight. This takes me a while. I came into this fight thinking I knew what the deal was. That when you cast an element, he changes what he's weak to. But it becomes just sort of a guessing game. More often than not, I was either healing him or doing 0 damage. So I couldn't really figure out what the strategy was. And there's a point in this fight where the fight kind of pauses for a minute. And I actually went and looked up the fight. Not necessarily for anything too obvious, but just sort of like a base strategy. How, if there's any tips on how to tell what elements he's weak to. And so I end up using that information, and it still didn't help. But you're gonna see. So he's got 50,000 HP, 50,000 MP. Right now he's vulnerable to fire, but because I cast Libya on him, he changed his barrier. So now he may not be weak to fire. And the spells that he casts aren't a hint as to what he's weak towards. So I was kind of at a loss. I'll wait till it happens. I'll wait till the pause. And then I'll explain what my new strategy was based on that. At this point, I'm kind of panicking because I can't think of anything. I was thinking maybe poison, maybe gravity. But if he's weak to gravity, he's going to become immune to it. And then the next spell I cast is going to heal him. I assumed. Luckily, he's not that strong. Luckily, I have a lot of spells I can cast before I die, and, I can heal pretty well. Yeah, just like a regular Kira. It's like 6,500 HP. And pretty cheap. Kira, I forget how much it is, but it's like 6 or 9 MP or something. It's 25, never mind. Whoa, spells are more expensive than I thought. Gundara is 22. Maybe I misjudged lore. So, yeah, I'm still just trying to figure it out. If nothing seems to be working. At least guessing isn't working. Libra doesn't work. I think this is where I kind of paused. And I just, like, checked my phone real quick. Maybe not yet. And the strategy that well, they basically said reflect works. That, like, if you cast reflect on yourselves, then none of his spells will connect, right? So I was thinking if I cast reflect on everyone, then that's how you kill him. He'll reflect all his magic back at him, and it'll do the job for me. But as we've already seen, when he's vulnerable to one type of magic, he's immune to everything else except for one type of magic that heals it. So if I'm constantly casting, if he's constantly casting random spells, then he's eventually going to be healing himself, presumably. But luckily I do have W summons, or W magic, so I can spread out the reflex quicker. But it also means I can't heal myself. So that's something to worry about, especially now that 2 people are poisoned. But here we go. Here's the great strategy. And no, doesn't work. Homeboy is still not taking damage from the spells that are reflecting back at him. And then Osmos, I thought was a clever idea, but then I realized that Osmos, you can only drain as much mana as you're missing. So in order to drain more than one at a time, I would have to like run out of my own MP first, and it takes a while to get rid of 998 MP, and then on top of that I would just be filling it back up, so I would have to then drain it again. And I saw from the Libra that he has 50,000 MP, so each person has approximately 1,000. I would have to drain their MP and refill it 50 times. So that didn't seem like a plausible strategy either. And then I have a slight stroke of genius, sort of. But what happens is eventually my reflect runs out. I didn't realize it does that. So as soon as it ran out, I knew I needed to think of something else to deal with it. So he's immune to bio, silence, berserk. So none of those things work. I know at one point I tried berserk on him. Youch. Taking a lot of damage now. And nobody has reflect anymore. I really built my characters wrong now. I'm pretty sure Gao would have made a lot more sense to be at least balanced rather than just full magic. And Terra, I should have invested some magic in her because she's the one who inherently gets Ultima and Flare and Meteor or whatever, you know, like whatever endgame spells she just kind of gets for free. So you don't even need Ragnarok to get Ultima. I still haven't rezzed Go-Go just because I'm just kind of running out of ideas. I couldn't really figure anything out. I noticed he was back to full health, and now he's changing his barrier again right when I find out Holy is good. But it doesn't help to have Go-Go down, so it was obvious I had to get him back up. Oh, this is where I tried Berserk. Yeah, really doesn't affect them at all. It normally would say miss if they're immune to it, or they would have a little immune diamond. But it didn't give me that symbol, which means that he's not immune to it. It's that everyone's immune to it, I think. When you're in the magic tower, you can't attack. So you can't be Berserk. It doesn't make sense. I could try it on a different fight later, but this fight definitely goes on way longer than it has to. This is where I discover that Rasp actually drains almost 3,000 MP per spell, and that's progress. 50,000 divided by, or 50 divided by 3. That's a lot less casts than, you know, hours and hours of draining MP and then refilling it. To be honest, I didn't even know that spell existed. Super effective, though. In the end, it's really the only thing that could have ever worked. Other than just guessing, you know? If you're just really good at guessing. I can't imagine how I would have done 50,000 damage without accidentally healing him along the way. Cool fight, though. It's kind of interesting. Once you figure it out, it's super easy, but I mean, instead of casting Rasp right off the bat, what you could do is reflect everybody, put reflect rings on, something like that. And that way you won't be taking damage the whole time. For some reason I had a hard time fighting Rasp. I think I thought it was a black magic spell, so I just couldn't find it on the list when I was looking the wrong section. And this goes on a little bit longer. Oh, there it is. He cast Ultima, not enough MP, and that kills him. Easy peasy. If you don't do that, like if you decide to try to like get lucky and bring him down, he'll cast Ultima if he has the MP. So something to think about. You got to be able to survive an Ultima. So I'm gonna cut it at when I get to the bottom of this tower, but just know that I went outside, realized I was missing a chest, and then I spent an absurd amount of time here trying to find it. Just so long. And then eventually I kind of just gave up. And then I came back later and I ended up finding it. The problem is that when I was searching, I checked all the walls, but for some reason I missed the switch on the wall in the first room. And that's the switch you got to do to get the air anchor. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Next time is going to be an extended finale episode. The whole thing. Kefka's Tower, and the credits as well.